Have you ever felt that flutter in your stomach, that unmistakable mix of anticipation and uncertainty, as your plane begins its descent into a city you've never seen before? The wheels touch down, and suddenly, you realize you're really here, somewhere new, somewhere unknown, and your heart beats just a little faster. For me, that feeling is everything. A rush of excitement tangled with nerves, like the first day of school but with the whole world as your classroom. It's the thrill of possibility, the promise of stories waiting to unfold. You step off the plane, and instantly the air feels and smells different. There's a newness to it, a hint of adventure in every breath. Maybe it's warmer, maybe it's cooler, or maybe it's the scent of unfamiliar spices and street food drifting through the air, making your stomach rumble with curiosity. That first breath outside the airport is the true start of your adventure. It's a moment of pure possibility, when the city feels like it's welcoming you personally. I remember landing in Lisbon, Portugal, a city I'd only seen in photos and dreamed about for months. The sun painted everything gold, casting a warm glow over the city's hills and tiled rooftops. I felt a surge of energy, like I couldn't wait another second to start exploring. My mind raced with all the things I wanted to see and eat. Pastéis de nata, those famous custard tarts, the haunting sound of fado music echoing through narrow streets, and the sight of bright yellow trams winding their way up steep hills. Every corner promised a new discovery. The airport buzzed with energy, a symphony of languages, laughter and happy reunions. People from all over the world, each with their own story, converging in this one place. Even the journey from the airport to the hotel is part of the adventure. Whether you're in a rattling taxi or a sleek train, you watch the city unfold outside your window, every street and building a hint of what's to come. I love watching the city wake up as I ride in, seeing shopkeepers open their doors, locals heading to work, and the first rays of sunlight glinting off cobblestones. Everything seems new and fascinating, from the way people greet each other to the colors of the buildings and the sounds of the city. This is why we travel, to see the world with fresh eyes, to be surprised, to feel small and amazed in the best possible way. Arriving at the hotel, you drop your bags, take a deep breath, and realize the adventure is just beginning. The possibilities feel endless, and every moment is a chance to create a new memory. At that moment, you feel like the luckiest person in the world, standing on the edge of something unforgettable. Little did I know, my little blue book, my passport, was about to give me the scare of my life, reminding me that every adventure comes with its own surprises. Let's talk about the passport. That little blue book you tuck into your bag before every trip, the one you check for 100 times before leaving home. It's more than just a document, it's a symbol of possibility, a promise of adventure, and a silent companion on every journey. It's not just a book with your picture, it's your golden ticket, the key to the world. With it, borders open and new cultures await. It's the one thing that transforms you from a dreamer to a traveler, from someone with plans to someone with stories. Every stamp tells a story, every page a new adventure. Each mark is a memory, of bustling cities, quiet villages, and the people you meet along the way. Flipping through those pages is like reliving your travels, one inked memory at a time. I treat mine like a precious gem, always in its special pocket, always checked before I sleep. It's the first thing I reach for in the morning and the last thing I put away at night, a ritual that brings comfort in unfamiliar places. It's my travel companion, my connection to home, and my permission slip to explore. It's a reminder that no matter how far I wander, I have a way back, a link to my roots and my loved ones. Lose it, and you're stuck, unable to prove who you are or get home. The thought alone is enough to send a chill down any traveler's spine. Suddenly the world feels a lot bigger, and you feel very, very small. That's why we guard it with our lives. We double-check pockets, use money belts, and keep it close, even when we sleep. It's not paranoia, it's survival. It represents freedom, security, and the ability to move around our beautiful planet. With it, the world feels open and inviting, full of endless possibilities and new beginnings. Before my Lisbon trip took a scary turn, I remember holding it at immigration, smiling at another stamp. That moment, full of excitement and anticipation, felt like the start of something unforgettable. I tucked it safely away, feeling ready for my Portuguese food adventure, or so I thought. Little did I know that sense of security was about to be tested in ways I never imagined. Your passport is your identity in a foreign land. It's the one thing that says, I belong here, I am who I say I am. Without it, you're invisible, a stranger with no proof of your story. If you lose it, it's not like losing your house keys. It's a much bigger deal. It's a crisis that can turn a dream trip into a nightmare, leaving you stranded and anxious in a place far from home. Suddenly you can't check into hotels or board a plane. You're stuck, watching the world move on while you scramble for help, hoping for a solution. That's why it's the single most important thing you carry. It's your lifeline, your ticket home, and your pass to every new experience. And why what happened next was so terrifying. Because in a heartbeat, everything can change. My first day in Lisbon was a dream. Hours of wandering pastéis de nata and a perfect dinner at a family-run restaurant. The city at night was magical, the air cool and the streetlights glowing. I strolled back to my hotel, humming, replaying the meal in my mind. Back in my room I started my nightly check phone wallet room key. Then I reached for my passport's special pocket. My fingers found nothing. My heart stopped. I froze, panic flooding in. I tore through my bag, emptying everything onto the bed. Keys, coins, maps, receipts. No passport. The most important thing was gone. The happy, relaxed feeling from dinner vanished instantly, replaced by a cold, sharp wave of panic. I frantically unzipped every pocket, my hands shaking. I dumped the entire contents of my bag onto the bed. But no passport. My mind went blank, then raced. No, 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 it has to be here. But it wasn't. The nightmare had begun. The hotel room felt like a cage. My mind spun with worst-case scenarios, stranded, missing my flight, endless embassy forms. I retraced my steps in my mind, the walk, the restaurant, the meal. Did I take it out? Why would I? Panic clouded my judgment. I searched everywhere, under the bed, behind curtains, in drawers, even the mini-fridge. Desperation set in. Every empty pocket and drawer chipped away at my hope. Maybe it was out there, somewhere in Lisbon. Maybe I left it at the restaurant. That thought was terrifying but also a tiny bit hopeful. If I left it there, maybe someone found it. I couldn't just sit and worry. I had to go back out, retrace my steps, and pray for a miracle. The joy of my trip evaporated, replaced by pure fear. I had to do something. I grabbed my room key and headed out. The search was on. With trembling hands I headed to the lobby, my heart pounding in my chest. The hotel's bright lights felt harsh after the quiet of my room, and every step echoed with worry. I could barely focus, my mind racing through worst-case scenarios. The front desk clerk saw my panic and asked if I was all right, his voice gentle and full of concern. It was as if he could sense the storm of anxiety swirling inside me. I explained, voice cracking, that I might have lost my passport at dinner. The words tumbled out, shaky and desperate, as I tried to hold back tears. I felt exposed, vulnerable in a foreign country, unsure what to do next. Instantly he sprang into action, my partner in crisis. He didn't hesitate or judge, he simply moved with purpose, as if helping lost travelers was second nature. He asked for the restaurant's name, found the number, and called them for me. His calm efficiency was a stark contrast to my panic, and I clung to it like a lifeline. My Portuguese was non-existent, so his help was a lifeline. Without him, I would have been lost in translation, unable to even ask the right questions. I watched him speak rapidly, searching his face for any sign of news. Every pause in his conversation felt like an eternity, my hope rising and falling with each word I didn't understand. He hung up and smiled gently. The owner would check my table and asked us to call back in 5 minutes. Relief washed over me, but the uncertainty lingered. 5 agonizing minutes, but it was the first hope I'd had. I paced the lobby, glancing at the clock, every second stretching out impossibly long. The fact that the owner remembered me felt like a good sign. Maybe, just maybe, my luck was about to change. The kindness of the hotel clerk, who took the time to help a frantic stranger, was a comfort I desperately needed. In that moment he was more than just staff. He was a lifeline, a reminder that compassion exists everywhere. In a moment of crisis, the help of another person can feel like a lifeline. It's easy to feel alone when you're far from home, but sometimes a stranger's kindness bridges that gap. We waited together, hoping for good news. The silence between us was filled with unspoken gratitude and shared anticipation. I realized I wasn't just another faceless tourist. In that moment, I was a person in need, and he saw me. Sometimes kindness is the best souvenir. The wait felt endless, but hope was alive, and I knew that, no matter the outcome, I would always remember the stranger who turned my fear into hope. Those 5 minutes crawled by. I paced, clinging to hope that the owner would find my passport. The hotel clerk gave me encouraging glances. We were a team now. I remembered the owner's pride in his food and our friendly chat. If anyone would keep my passport safe, it was him. Finally, the clerk called back. The conversation was short. He smiled, a real relieved smile. "He has it," the clerk said. My passport was safe. It had slipped out of my bag onto the seat. Relief washed over me, knees weak with gratitude. The crisis was over. The kindness of strangers had saved the day. The hotel clerk wrote down the address so I could pick it up in the morning. I thanked him, overwhelmed with gratitude. The nightmare had ended. I could finally breathe again. The walk back to my room felt light, the panic replaced by relief and a bit of embarrassment. I laughed at my frantic search, looking in the mini fridge. That night I slept deeply for the first time in days. The next morning, I set out for the restaurant, nervous but excited. The owner greeted me with a warm smile and handed me my passport. No words were needed, just gratitude and a handshake. I tried to offer a reward, but he refused, simply patting my shoulder. "We look out for each other," his gesture seemed to say. I left with more than my passport. I left with renewed faith in people. My trip was now about kindness, not just food and sights. I held my passport tightly all the way back, vowing never to be so careless again. Sometimes the best stories come from the scariest moments, and the best souvenirs are the people you meet. This experience taught me some crucial lessons I want to share. First, always know where your passport is. Physically check for it. Make it a habit. Before leaving anywhere, do a quick pat-down wallet, phone, passport. Second, have a backup plan. Photocopy your passport and keep it separate. Take a photo on your phone. If you lose it, a copy makes replacement much easier. Third, use the hotel safe. You rarely need your actual passport when out exploring. Leave the real thing locked up and safe. Finally, don't be afraid to ask for help. People are good and want to help. The hotel clerk and restaurant owner were my heroes. If you're in trouble, reach out. Local knowledge is invaluable. Travel isn't just about places, it's about connecting with people. Sometimes, in our most vulnerable moments, we find the greatest kindness. My little passport drama reminded me of that, and I hope it helps you too. So that's my story, a tale of food, panic, and the kindness of strangers. Even when things go wrong, it becomes part of the adventure. My Lisbon trip became unforgettable because of this little incident. Now every passport stamp reminds me of that heart-stopping moment and the relief that followed. Travel opens our minds, fills our bellies, and connects us to humanity. Let my story empower you, cherish your documents, be mindful, and travel with an open heart. The world is waiting, one meal, one city at a time. If you love food, travel, and connecting with people, join my travel community. Let's share adventures, swap tips, and inspire each other. Life's an adventure, let's explore it together.